Alright, so today I'm just showing a few changes that I made on the Fluval Evo tank. And the first thing is I changed a lot of the rock work. I bought this Life Rock Frag rock to just like super glue a bunch of rocks together to make my own shapes. Now I would like to pick another box of this up for fragging corals and everything, but it works really well to just make up your own scapes and everything. And then I also repainted my dresser because I wanted my furniture to match in the room, and it looks better with the tank. So, unnecessary, but I got the urge. So anyways, the next thing that I did was I got some new corals, which I will show later in this video. And I got a brand new light. So this light, nothing in this video is sponsored or anything. This is something I found on my own. I was trying to find a light and I was super close to just buying an AI Prime. But then I ran into this like ad online for this pop bloom light, and there weren't many reviews for it, but I found a couple videos that convinced me to give it a try. And I want to review this in the future once I've given it more substantial time to really show what it's doing. But so far I've had it on for a few weeks and my corals love it. So I'm excited to see how well this does in the future. So I will definitely come back to this and give you an update on if this light's working or not. So yeah, that's the new light I found by chance when just like scrolling online. I was convinced to get an AI, but I'm glad I did this because it's a little bit more budget friendly. And the next thing I did was I changed the lid because, as you know, the Evo tank, it's kind of hard with the lid that it comes with to get whatever light that you want. So I got a new lid. I found it on Etsy. I will link that down below if you have an Evo tank. I am loving this lid so far. I did have to plug up a couple of the holes though because I'm just a little paranoid. I don't think the Goby can fit through it, but I am scared to death he's gonna jump out. So it comes with these pieces here to put in so that if you want to use the stock light still, you can, because they hook perfectly, or the light hooks perfectly into these. So that's also a choice, and here's a quick video I did showing how that fits on there. But obviously for this purpose, I got the lid to do a different type of light. And now I love the stock light for this, but I want to grow some other corals, and I feel like I'm going to need a different light for it. But it was great. And I got rid of the protein skimmer because I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't know, I just could not get this locked in, and I found that I didn't really need it in this tank because I deal with a lot of that myself. But I just couldn't get this. It was the protein skimmer that went with this tank. I just couldn't get it locked in, so I personally didn't have luck with it, so I'm taking it out. It wasn't even plugged in half the time anymore anyways because I spent forever trying to get it to work and I just couldn't. So yeah, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but where I stand now, I'm not going to be using that again. So I'm going to be putting some extra filtration back in the chamber, which I had before I decided to get that protein skimmer. And I'm going to put the rest of my Marine Pure bio cube thingies and back in that chamber. So that's what I'm doing with the chamber now. So the bio gems, added filtration, and I put some activated carbon in because I think my toadstool leather just likes to be angry. So gotta keep that fresh. Also, like, I'm trying to adjust my sound to make it sound better, and I'm like under a blanket right now recording this, which is, oh my goodness. All right, so the lid is in. Now there's a couple adjustments that could be made here to make these cords fit better, but that's going to be based on your configuration. And I left this part on because there's a feeding hole there, and this just makes it easier to tear this piece back to feed and not have to worry about anybody jumping out. All right, and I'm back to putting the light together because I had to figure out a way to configure this on top of my tank, because with that lid, the guy who made the lid, you can have him add in parts for your different fits and everything, but I decided I was just gonna get it as it was and figure everything out from there. Because when I ordered the lid, I didn't have the light with me yet, so I couldn't really measure anything out anyways, but yeah, so here's me just trying to make it work with something behind the tank holding it up, but the light was just a little bit too close to the tank, and it should be up just a little bit higher. So I ended up doing this instead because the tank's in the closet. It actually ended up working perfectly just on those shelf things above. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now, and it's working well. So with that out of the way, figuring out how to get the light on and everything, it was time to move on to the next part. All right, and so next I had the corals come and I acclimated them by pouring the tank water for the quarantine tank slowly into the cups before acclimating them to the temperature and everything. And right now they're all doing beautifully. I'll try and get a video of them, but you'll see them soon. I have one though that's not opening, and the rest though are doing great. So yeah, that's what's happening in the Evo tank, and that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for sticking around, everyone. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.